or having spells that give emotions. Sky Temple is the map choice. It was given over to the One, but they don't take to towers yet.
All right, remember what happened in the previous series, guys, when Sky Temple was given over to SPT. Then they did look good for the most part, but they gave it away at some point. You know, they weren't able to play it all the way through. Let's see if the One can make it happen this time and actually win the championships. This is match point, ladies and gentlemen, to become the new champions of China, to get that sexy spinning trophy that we saw in the intro of today's broadcast. And this would be, ladies and gentlemen, the very first title, in theory, for the One.
That it would. They've come third, they've come second, they've come everywhere except first. Now is their chance, though. As we see SPT starting off with the Diablo ban, the One begin to remove the globals.
Yep, get rid of the globals. Sky Temple, if you are first pick, first ban, then you can still go for a replacement. Like, you could still go for that fall set, although fall set as a first pick I don't think receives that much attention these days. You still want to secure heroes like Irel, Genji if he makes it through. Let's see what's going to happen. Already the Diablo ban against Hehe. Are we going to see a Murden follow-up? No, it's going to be Hanzo.
Hanzo taken out. Let's see, are they going to ban maybe another global? Ban Falstad straight away? Or are they going to perhaps just stick with the more meta stuff? The Genji's still available. Still pretty scary. Has yet to make it through today.
Yeah, Genji, of course, man. It's the hero that both teams would just love to pick, right? We have Melody C on the one side, and we have Meng on the other side. But looks like there's still this gentleman's agreement going on between the two teams of not letting Genji through.
Phoenix finally sneaks his way through the ban phase, immediately picked up by SPT, so now the name of the game is to get slows for both teams. The One wanting to deny them away from SPT, SPT obviously wanting to empower the Phoenix, but this still gives the option for the One to once again bring out the Rainer.
Rainer? I mean, we have two players that could play it. Muggle actually looking like the superior choice for the most part, but we've even seen Meng on that hero, just in case. Muggle prefers different choices, and already, man, full alliance team composition up to this point for the One. They know what's good for them. They know the good heroes, the good stuff right now. Jokes aside, though, like that Murden last game, it was just so lethal and oppressive.
So now we're probably going to end up seeing the Deckard Cain coming in for SPT. It's one of the best supports and synergizes the best with the Phoenix. And then bringing that out with maybe the solo laner. Get that Yrel on the board as fast as possible. There's the Yrel, but we see the Johanna over the Deckard Cain.
Johanna over Deckard Cain, and Irel secured yet again. Now, mind you guys, as good as Irel is in that first game, they weren't able to actually make her shine and make her work. But Johanna, man, we have seen plenty of good Johanna performances today in this playoffs. And also in the past. Pretty good hero. The A-team made use of her a couple of times. Now, are we still going to see the Rainer, though, into this? A little more susceptible to blinds than other heroes.
Yeah. Hammer removed. Another hero who is not that susceptible to blinds because people don't get near her, but when they do, the blinds can be a big deal. So are we going to see the Tracer ban? Makes sense, Furion's on the board.
That he is. And Tracer would have been a fantastic pickup for the One, as you said. Still the strong inbuilt synergy of basically rangeless healing as long as the regrowth is ticking, which is so good for Tracer, who likes to go deep sometimes. And Meng, you know, he's played that hero in Game 1 to great efficiency. Now, what are we going to see here? Hugo could go for the Malthael here. That's exactly what he's going to do. I mean, not only is he good on that hero, but against an Yrel, it's almost like a given. I'm actually wondering why they weren't actually targeting the ban on Malthael here. Probably could have established much more control for the Yrel.
Excellent point, but they chose to start banning out ranged assassins instead, which has given them that Phoenix, which is high priority, but the One respond with, okay, you may have got maybe the better team fighter hero, we're going to take the better map hero, the Falstad. If they can get a level lead, then, well, that superior potential fight that Phoenix offers is muted, but now it is Phoenix and Rainer together.
Wow.
That's scary.
I think this is the best draft that SPT has had all series long. Like, it looks to me like they got all the tools they wanted to go for. The Rainer, the Yrel, the Phoenix on top of that as well, looking mighty scary. And already we see the Cassia go down against double physical attack damage, double auto attacks. This seems to be the way to go. And we all know, Tetcher, what a force Muggle can be on that hero.
So let's have a quick look at the crowd control that we see here from SPT. That's not a lot of hard CC. There's some blinds, there's some knockbacks, there's a stun. But overall, I don't think that's enough to shut down Cassia. Which means if Cassia is going to have freedom, then guess who doesn't have freedom? Reyna and Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is going to be the highlight of the series, in my opinion. Not only because it's the potential match point, right, for the one, but because I think for the first time in here, in this best of 5, both teams have brought outstanding comms to the table. Now, the question is, as you said, which team can execute their draft, their strategy, their battle plan more precisely, more deadly? The tools are there for both teams. The Cassia in particular is going to be very interesting to follow. How much ability damage is there really? Reyna doesn't really have anything. Phoenix does have the salvo, which could be a little bit of a problem. But aside from that, I think Cassia will have free reign.
That is my concern. And then, of course, you have the anti-healing dropped by Deckard, which could be a problem for Malthael, but Malthael responds in kind if he wants to with Touch of Death. And if not, then that damage over time, that percentage damage is still going to give problems to the Reyna, still give problems to the Yarel, especially in that solo lane. Should be good. Should be good indeed. I feel good about both these drafts, but the most obvious answer is sometimes the best, and the Cassia. Like, it's good. Simple as.
Simple as. And I really also like that fall set, man. I keep saying that every single time I see fall set on Sky Temple, but it's absolutely amazing. The boss control, the lane control it provides with that Mighty Gust. Let's see if the One can crown themselves Kings of China for the first time ever in HGC history. With Hugo on that Malthael, Muggle is on the Cassia, Meng is on that Falstad, he plays Muradin, and ZJ said the god Alexstrasza from last game, this time on Malfurion.
And on the right, it is SPT with Lucky on Reyna, Melisi on Phoenix, Misaka on Johanna, Soap on Yarel, and ZZH is bringing out the Deckard Kane.
Deckard Kane it is. Looked pretty solid, but it was not enough to win them a game up to this point. SPT struggling, trying to stabilize, trying to make that reverse sweep a reality. We almost saw the rival CE pull it off, and only did they crumble in that last game. Let's see if SPT can be the ones now to stabilize. Soap taking a little bit of damage there, and that's basically exactly how you do not want to play as Unreal, right? You're basically in a good spot when minions are nearby, but the moment you face Malthael plus minions on the enemy side, that's where you no longer can out DPS him.
Exactly. So now we see Hihi attempting to get some lockdowns. He's playing in this aggressive position a lot. He's been spotted by Misaka. Lucky, instead of pretending they don't know he's there, just shoots him in the face and says, no, we don't want you here at all.
Yeah, all right. Hihi just testing the waters here, trying to scout a little bit, trying to see what the enemy team is up for. He confirmed the information, the intel that Siege Giant camps were taken. And as such, his teammates know exactly what to do. Hugo already on the Bruiser camp, the remaining members taking their own Siege Giant camps, so no major confrontation happening immediately.
Meng cleaning up the minions as fast as possible. He wants to try and get a couple of free hits onto Johanna, and also, if he can, he wouldn't mind rotating bot lane quickly to see if he can gain expertise and marksman stacks and put some pressure on, but for now, he's stuck with the normal wave clear speed due to the fact he doesn't have Boomerang yet.
Boomerang isn't here yet, so the overall ability damage, the overall burst potential for Falstad is rather limited up to this point. Needs more stacks, you know, to get these season marksman stacks rolling for now. It's actually interesting to see that he went for this build, despite the fact that there's a blind on the enemy team. Looks like several players in China have their own, you know, favorite builds. We see RPG's Locktar, for example, almost always go for the boom build with, you know, ability damage galore. Whereas it seems like Meng just stays with the traditional, you know, with the standard classic sustain damage Falstad.
We've even seen a couple bright builds, but Towers of Doom would be the main map for that. We can sometimes see it here, but we're deciding against that this time. We want that auto attack damage, potential percentage damage later on, as they just begin burning through this Bruiser camp, as the one's Bruiser camp already been taken out, so now they're just going for the trade-off.
Going for the trade-off they do. We also see level 4 towns now for both sides, of course. He just continues to mind game with his opponents, and yet another super patient start to this game. No major shenanigans, no early brawls, and Middle Temple actually going over for SPT up to this point, but immediately the double dwarfs, they're trying to contest this.
A little bit of crit damage onto Hehe. Nothing super high at the moment.
Look at Muggle, man. He doesn't care. He knows exactly how much damage he can tank against the Phoenix as long as the Purification Salvo at level 10 is not really there yet. And especially with the support behind you as a Cassia, you can play super aggressively, super recklessly. In the meantime, during all of this, superior soaking going on with Malthael actually doing terrible things to the bottom lane, and Falstad in the middle for the most part, keeping Jimmy at bay. But look at the potions. Potions good, yo. Don't tell Varian.
Cassia once again getting blinded here. Misaka attempts to raid, but she is outnumbered. Mafia will just be able to heal up Muggle. There's no issues there unless other people show up. Unfortunately, other people are showing up.
Other people are showing up indeed. He's here to try and peel maybe for the Cassia on the back lane. She escapes the scroll stealing, which is huge, but it's a 4 vs 3 situation here against the one, and they pull back immediately, give those final shots over to SPT, and already try to maybe make a gank happen in the middle, but so jumps to safety.
And this was less actually about the gank, because there was no way they were going to lock down Yrel. It was more about denying XP. As long as Yrel was running for her life in top lane, she wasn't rotating in mid lane. Sorry, she wasn't rotating to bot lane, which means an entire minion wave scattered against the towers, and the XP was lost.
Very good point, and that is why we see a small but significant lead here for SPT. They're making up for the lack of early game soaking they have been doing earlier. Trying to catch up, and looks like both teams are just mirroring each other in terms of what they prioritize on the map. Siege Giants being taken on the left-hand side, but a little bit of delay for SPT, so if he scouts this in time, Falstad maybe flying in. No, it's just he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Cool, I don't think I've ever seen this boss sneak out of the cave before. That's a cool animation.
Yeah, comes down from below. Comes down from the tomb of the Spider Queen, I guess.
Huh. There we go.
I would assume anyway, which is interesting why it is such a different design, but it also explains why it is a little bit spider-like, like not as much, but it's more scarab-like, I guess. It's actually a snake scarab? That's an interesting design. It's cool.
The more you learn, the more you see, the more you learn. Anyways.
LDC gets out-traded because Die Alone's a good ability, yo. Meng, though, eats a little bit of damage, immediately turns onto Melody C, dropping him low. Yeah. He's trying to juggle his positioning so that he can go back in and try and help his team, but what he's really doing is putting himself in danger of Hugo. But the Reaper's Mark expires, Hugo with the anti-healing, and Muradin comes in. Good knockback from Yrel as they focus onto Soap. Nice barrel roll, dodging Soap. And a lot of back and forth counter anti-healing onto Muradin here, but he should be able to escape, which he does.
Very unlucky there for Muradin that his Stormbolt didn't connect, right? Otherwise, that could have been that mini time window of stunning that they needed. Also, by the way, look at Melody C's build. Very, very much Release Phoenix-like, right? Going for the extra spin circle at level 1 if enough stacks are landed against enemy heroes.
It's good against blinds. So you get that extra circle, you're going to do a lot of damage, so always nice to see.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. The more ability damage you provide against the Cassia, not only to dodge the blinds and still get value while you're blinded, but also to inflict some true damage onto her that doesn't get mitigated by her physical armor trait. So I really like the adaptation. Look at the Rainer Banshee here, by the way, providing a little bit of vision. See Lucky now in position as well, but it is the one who are taking most of the tempo shots currently. Muggle in trouble.
Thanks, Boo. At least for the moment. Dude, looking pretty fine. Lornado for the Decade Cane. Boss control tool extraordinaire, potentially. Meng, not full health, Fountain not available. He's used Gust, I guess, to disengage from Phoenix there.
Exactly, in a one-on-one battle, he had to use the Mighty Gust here to stay safe for now. Lightning Balls connecting, zoning SPT's members out from one another. Soap, actually, with a reinitiation, he does have his ult absorption. There we go.
On defender, Muradin stuns him anyway, even though it gives him the heal. Falstad is on his way back. He ported back to base. I don't think he has fly, and it doesn't look like he wants to, even if he does.
They're trying to contest those last final shots, and they get it. The 1-6 shots now going over to the bottom lane of SPT. That should take down the Fountain. Down it goes. Meng gets sandwiched.
And Phoenix has been doing a really good job against this Falstad. Both of those two trading blows back and forth, but Phoenix almost consistently coming out ahead.
Absolutely true. I fully agree. Like, this is not the game that Falstad wants to have. Look at that positioning, by the way, of that Banshee. Rendering it completely left immune to physical attacks, right? Nobody can actually attack up there, except for range heroes, obviously, but Muradin was completely defenseless, if you will, against that permanent poking. So good vision, good poking coming in from SPT. Lornado, by the way, being locked in for Decker Kane. No stay a while, listen.
Yeah, boss control tool. As we do see Mighty Gus as the counter boss control tool, so it's all down to which person has the better wind prowess.
That is correct. Fight wind with wind, if you will. Now, neither of the teams up to this point really with a major advantage in terms of experience or structures. 3 keeps, 3 forts still left available on either side. Look at those beautiful sapphires onto Mert, and he is feeling the pain up to this point with that Rainer focus fire damage with the Banshee and his auto attacks. Ace in the hole with Decker Kane. So much damage and value.
Really is. They're burning through a lot of damage here. Cassia gets knocked away. It's level 13. Hit slightly more in advance for SPT. That 1 kill they've been able to achieve. So far, SPT, slight lead. It's nothing that is not insurmountable, but that slight lead is just going to begin to creep a little bit. It's those small time windows where SPT have a talent advantage. They are able to make plays like this, pushing into the bot lane. But now 13 available for the 1.
And immediately the 1 is trying to push them out here, trying to save the health of their structures. Beautiful stun onto Rel before she gets closer to Murden. But yet Hugo and Meng, they're not even trying to help their mates, their teammates in need. Now they realize the Blessed Shield actually completely whiffing by Misaka.
The Blessed Shield is gone, and that's going to allow Hugo to try and rotate back in. They might try and look for the 4v4 here. Falstad can fly down, but Phoenix is on the way. Meng and Hugo, in fact, weren't here because they were trying to kill Phoenix, but he easily teleported away as they dive him. Stormbolt misses, though, and now he has to retreat.
Yeah,
he's in trouble. Anti-healing. Has to drop the Avatar. Might not even get out anyway. Down he goes. Good kill by Phoenix. Again, Melody C is putting on a clinic here.
That he is, and only now does Hugo arrive to really help, but that was still a 4 versus 5 for the most part. Now Meng immediately needs to be aware of this. He should leave the temple or channel it all the way through. Those are the 2 options. But look at Hugo and the distraction coming in from the 1. They're trying to keep their opponents at bay and distracted from taking this boss. Melody C took a lot of damage. Cassia, though, standing still, no physical damage reduction, and down she goes.
Muggles out. Hugo being forced to back up here, and this is going to be SPT. Even with that boss pact that the 1 made, they are still going to lose this first boss of the game unless Falstad pulls off the most last-minute play, but he's left it far too late.
Letting it go. You're letting it go. They preferred pushing in other lanes, and they preferred taking the temple in the top lane, which is a smart move overall. So it wouldn't actually surprise me that with the help of that temple, they might temporarily even have a lead. Yeah, better be safe than sorry. I mean, it's a low cooldown.
Makes sense indeed. Falstad, he was able to take all of top temple. As such, top fort was taken out a little bit earlier, but he was able to do some good damage to mid fort. However, this bottom temple has 2 open forts to hit. That's going to be a double fort play for SPT, getting them much closer to their level 16.
Yeah.
And now, let's see how much value this boss can get. Muggle's already in position to defend. Malthael's on the way after he takes the Bruiser camp to empower the top lane, which Falstad is still sitting in. Is he going to keep pushing with this? Okay, no, it looks like he's porting. No, he's still going.
Yeah, I think he's trying to really mind game his opponents out by not showing himself in lane for a while, only to reappear and, you know, pressure this lane even more. Mercenaries are coming in. His Dwarven buddy is providing vision and trying to maybe help him out here. The Blast Shield catches the bird mid-barrel.
Iron Skin and Teleport denied. The Gust gorgeously done by SPT. They pick up the Falstad.
I don't know what it is about Falstads and Sky Temple against SPT, but they just seem to have the bird on lock every single time they shoot him down. They find the opening and they deny the global value that he brings to the table, just like against CE. Pretty crazy to see, actually.
He hangs around, stun onto ZZH. Lornado for the attempted steal, but it does not land. Hugo gives it up anyway in exchange for the attempt to look for a kill and give himself an escape route. Might still die anyway, though, to slow from the Avenging Wrath, and they pick up the kill, looking for more as Muggle is just getting massively slowed, gets knocked back, and that's going to be another kill, and SPT are starting to walk away with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, SPT, the super perfect team, are starting to look much more perfect and super than in those previous games. Even the Phoenix, even Melody C doesn't seem to care about Muradin. And once again, it is the red team that walks away with all those victories, trying to maybe get some permanent lasting damage down into the bottom lane. The keep of the one is now under siege and danger.
No one is defending this. Malfurion's on the way back. Muradin's ported. Falstad is flapping, I guess. as they look to drop some roots, force some delay, but this keep is going down, 100%. There is no question about that. But they finally put some presence up here to maybe deny the core call, sorry, as Meng says hello, drops the Gus. This is a big commitment. Cassie's not here.
Cassia's not here, but the angle was good. The Blessed Shield completely whiffing now as well. Falset gets turned back by the Lornado, though.
Such a good Lornado. They're diving deep. Tormented Souls. Hugo gets deleted by the point-blank laser and salvo from the Phoenix. Ardent Defender. Yrel charges forward. Down goes Muggle. And with that and Yrel surviving, this might be a core attempt if they can get through Hiki, which is a good chance they will here. Good Storm Bolt. And down he goes. Health bars are low, but they're still going to try it.
Health bars are low and no Gust available. Falset had used that one before. Here comes a Healing Globe providing additional AoE healing, which is normally something that Decker Kane is struggling with. Melody C, though, in trouble. He doesn't have 20 yet. He doesn't have a second life, but the core is dropping dangerously. Look at all that auto attack damage hailing onto the core from Jimmy and Melody C on that Phoenix, and SPT says no to the first championship of the One, and they are stabilizing. They still need 2 more victories after this one, though.
Yeah. They will not go quietly into the night, says SPT, as they put on the show. 2-1 in favor of the One, SPT. The potential for the reverse sweep has begun.
Looks like Falset is not the magical ingredient to winning on Sky Temple today. SPT themselves, they tried it against CE earlier, and it was shut down miserably. And now the One following suit on that trend, unfortunately for them. But quite honestly, man, that double backline of Phoenix Rainer, super lethal, if you ask me.
You said it. I thought the simple solution of the Cassia would be enough, but the slows and the engage potential is just too much for the front line that the One brought. And you called it in the at the end of the draft. That was the best draft we have seen so far, coming out of SPT. Really impressive. Good job.
I think so too. If they now maintain that momentum flow, you know, if they keep drafting well-focused and well-coordinatedly, shying away from their standard picks like the Hanzo every single time, instead picking stuff up like Rainer, which just seems to be so powerful at the moment, then SBT can best the One, and this is already a nice comeback. Now, we did say that maybe the One would drop one map, and let's see how they themselves can recuperate, right? Are they going to bring it home now 3-1? Or is this series going to get a lot more intense than we originally thought? Did Sid just try to hook you there?
No, I saw something on my camera and I'm wondering